Hi, I'm here in New Orleans at the annual meeting of the Society for Clinical and Experimental Hypnosis. Delighted to be with Gary Elkins, who's the editor of the International Journal of Clinical and Experimental Hypnosis. What is hypnosis? Now, any phenomena can be defined from a number of different angles. You can define it as existing within one person, between two people, among a group of people, in the way in which the group interacts in a family, the way in which the family interacts with an institution, the way in which the institution interacts with society and culture. So there's not a clear definition of a phenomena like love that is going to be applicable in every given situation. And having studied with Milton Erickson intermittently for more than 6 years, I know that he had many definitions of hypnosis. When he was asked by an expert in the research community, what is hypnosis, he said that it was the love in one person stimulating the love in another. I'm sure Erickson's definitions were contextual. We could say that hypnosis is a state of focused awareness in which the person is responding to what is immediately relevant. And that is a capsule definition. It does not comprehensive definition. My way of thinking about hypnosis is to use a process of deconstruction, to think that hypnosis is a syndrome like Meniere's is a syndrome, like fibromyalgia is a syndrome. It's a compilation of elements. And the avenues that people use to get into hypnosis could be through attention. Some people focus their attention, make their attention diffuse. Some people make their attention more internal, more external, and they say, I'm in a trance, because that is their distinguishing characteristic. Other people say they're in trance because they focus their attention and they change the intensity of their experience. The passage of time becomes different. The sensations from their body becomes different. The way in which they see hues, colors is different. And because they increase or decrease the way in which they experience the intensity of their perceptions, they say, I'm in trance. Other people need something dissociative. They need something to suddenly just happen, like a memory just happens, or an arm levitation just happens. Or dissociation could mean a sense of being here and there, part of an experience and apart from the experience. And dissociation could be a mild feeling of destabilization. Now, if you take those three psychological elements and put them together, somebody could say, I'm in a trance. But somebody could also say, I'm meditating, I'm doing active imagination, I'm doing mindfulness, I'm doing autogenic training, I'm doing relaxation training, because all altered states are a compilation of an alteration in attention, intensity, and dissociation. In my model, what makes hypnosis different is responsiveness, that people start to respond to the meaning of the communication, that people start to search for personal meaning. This is part of our social behavior that's built into the human system, and we're just taking something and we're playing with it and bringing it more center stage. So when people start to respond to the idiomatic meaning of a communication, when people start to respond to the understructure of the communication in a context that's defined as hypnosis, people say, I'm hypnotized. So to me, there are 5 elements: a change in attention, a change in intensity, dissociation, an alteration in social response, and a contextual definition of the situation, which could be direct or indirect. Most hypnotists directly define the situation. They say, now we're going to do hypnosis. But what Erickson would do differently is he might change the tone, the tempo, the direction of his voice, and he would be communicating indirectly, empowering responsiveness, social responsiveness. So in my definition, hypnosis is an amalgamation of 3 psychological elements, 1 social element, and a contextual element. And if you mix all of these things together, the person is probably going to say, I'm in a trance, but other people, like, how do you know you're in love? How do you know that you're attentive? How do you know that you're connected? How do you know that you're interested? There are many ways, many avenues from which people change their state and indicate that they're in a different state. So trying to simplify something about hypnosis, I say that it's a psychosocial contextual amalgamation of elements, and that we try to stimulate into play these elements. So when I'm doing an induction of hypnosis, I don't have a script. I just have principles, and I'm putting some of these elements, attentional, intensity, dissociative, responsive elements on the person's psychosocial stage, and inviting the person to play with these elements. And as the person plays with these elements, the person can define for themselves, himself, herself, I'm in a trance. This is Jeff Zeig. Here I am in New Orleans at the meeting of the Society for Clinical and Experimental Hypnosis.